I had a terrible thought. It began as a dream, and in the dream I sat at my father's table. And the table was heavy laden with what is good, and each seat filled except the one next to me. Faces neither young nor old, but as they are, shone. And the sun was in their faces, and the sun's light through them made them more them than a poor person of the world can ever imagine. I was home there. I was home in myself, and in their company, I was home in him. And then I noticed the space next to me, and it was empty. And I thought of you. I woke, but the dream stayed with me throughout the day, and the feeling remained, and I remembered as one remembers dreams, in images, in paintings like portraits in museums. And then the images were gone. All that remained was the feeling one has when one remembers when one first saw the painting. The memory frightened me. I was unsettled. I recalled not the sense of home, but your absence. I was reminded I had been remiss. I had not said what I needed to say or done what I needed to do. And then the thoughts settled, and I saw your face, and I grew ashamed. The memories shamed me. I thought of all those times when you needed me, when you wanted me and I was too busy. All you wanted was time, and I had none to give. I remember you standing there. You walked in the door with your question and begged for time, but I was too busy. I had nothing important to do, no time to spare. I watched you stand there, your question in your hands, and I ignored you. I said I'd do it later, but we both knew I never would. And I kissed you on the head, and I said later, and I felt ashamed for it later. And then much later, when you had less time for me, but needed me because what I hadn't said or done had influenced you, you wanted nothing to do with me. And by then I had waited too long. By then I'd lost responsibility. I bore responsibility for what I had never done in the past, what I hadn't shared, and by then I could only watch. Each salvation is personal, and I don't dispute that. A person must choose. A person must decide for him or herself, and I accept that. No one can decide for another, and I'm grateful for that. But when you forget, and when you waste time and don't love in the day as you are meant to love, when you are responsible or irresponsible in your faith and failed to share, or responsible for a missed opportunity, for a word unspoken, how do you live with that? What fool throws away time? Who can afford to miss it? The host cried, "Holy, holy, holy," and you weren't there to hear it. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry. But apologies echo little in my Father's house, and the walls are too big, and the words strike at nothing and never return to the one who uttered them. What I have is now, here. I am awake now. I am, and I must attend. I must not be absent here. I must make amends for time wasted, for lost opportunities, failed invitations, for good news almost shared.